Hey guys, welcome to an all-new episode of Cult Movie Tuesdays right here on Night Owl Video. Thank you for tuning in. Um, Sorry I've been gone for a bit there. It started off that I was working like crazy hours and I just had no time to do anything like this, for instance. Then my son got married and then I got really sick. So it's just been kind of a lot of stuff all at once, so that's why I've been gone. Thank you to a couple of folks who checked in on me because they saw I wasn't posting and made sure I was still out here and still alive. I am here. I'm half alive. Still a little stuffed up from the cold, so you'll have to excuse that. Today, though, on Cult Movie Tuesdays, we are talking about this little puppy here of unknown origin, which is one I've been wanting to review for some time. Um, this is, yeah, we're going to get into it. Anyway, this is a 1983 Canadian made horror film, or sort of a thriller, directed by George P. Cosmatos. I finally pronounced the last name right. And you guys know I'm a huge fan of Panos Cosmatos, who is George P.'s son, who made the film Mandy, which I always talk about because I really like that movie. Um, um, it's not intentional that I'm picking out some movies by his father, but it just so happens to be that way. So anyway, George P. Cosmatos also directed Rambo First Blood Part 2, as well as the cult classic Cobra with Sylvester Stallone, which is one I'd actually like to review on the channel sometime soon. So stick around for that. This film mostly stars Peter Weller, who's right here. It's mostly him and a rat. Um, There's not a lot of other people in this film. There are some other people, but they're really not in the film. It's mostly just Peter Weller and the rat. And Shannon Tweed, who's a very famous Canadian supermodel from Canada from the 1980s, she makes an appearance in here. She gets naked within the first couple of minutes, which was, I don't know, it felt kind of out of place considering she doesn't really play much of a role in the film. Like she's basically at the beginning and then she's at the end. So I thought that was kind of weird. It's almost like just because she was really beautiful and famous, they just threw it in there, like this gratuitous nudity scene. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And of course, it stars a rat. I don't know if we actually learn what the real rat's name. I'm sure there were several rats used in the filming of this, but I will read the synopsis here and then you'll get a better idea of what I'm talking about instead of just rambling on. But Bart Hughes, who's played by Peter Weller, has a pretty good life, a beautiful wife, Shannon Tweed, a young son, a good job with promotion prospects, and a renovated brownstone in New York. When wife and child leave for a vacation, Bart inadvertently destroys the house while in pursuit of a rat. So it's really like man versus beast in this film. If you can call a rat a beast, it's more like man versus critter. But this critter is pretty smart and pretty terrifying. So principal photography for this film started in November of 1982 in Montreal, Quebec. And it was shot entirely in Montreal, but the story itself is set in New York City, which is why I mentioned that a minute ago. The film is based on a novel called The Visitor by a writer named Chauncey G. Parker III. Quite a handle there. I don't know anything about the book. I actually just picked this DVD up a couple years ago. While out thrifting, I had no idea about the movie. I do really like Peter Weller, as you know, from the RoboCop film. I think he was in the first two, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, the budget for the film was $4 million and it made $1.1 million at the box office, so a bit of a disappointment. The film did, however, go on to win 2 awards at the Paris International Festival of Fantastic and Science Fiction Film, So I don't know how well that festival is known, but it won 2 awards at that festival. I think I actually just picked this up because it was Peter Weller, and I read on the back that it was George P. Cosmatos who was the director, and I thought probably a no-brainer. I didn't really know anything about the film before I bought it. I'm glad I did pick it up though. It's kind of a cool little 80s cult film, an 80s Canadian cult film. The I couldn't really find a lot of reviews on the film. It does have a 63% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it seems to generally get like relatively good reviews. Not great, but relatively good. This DVD was put out by Warner Brothers in 2003, and it was also released on VHS by Warner Brothers as well. Scream Factory later picked it up and put it out in 2018 as a Blu-ray with an all-new 2K scan. I don't remember the scan of this film being bad or the presentation on DVD. It looked good to me. But as you know, I'm not like super picky about the formatting and the pictures. As long as I can watch it and enjoy it, and it's not like brutal like a VA some, you know, 5 times copied over VHS. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty easygoing that way. But anyway, I would kind of like to see that 2K scan on Scream Factory, and I don't know if that's still available. Um, my thoughts on the film, I would give it a 3.75 out of 5. I thought it was entertaining, if not at times a bit dull, or the pacing was a little dragged out. This could have almost been better as like a TV, like an episode of a TV series, like a Twilight Zone or like that, if it was like an hour. This movie does have a runtime of 89 minutes, which, as you know, is pretty good for me. I like a 90-minute film. Um, it's a decent little thriller. If you like 80s films, if you like Peter Weller, if you're a nerd for like the George Cosmatos, then I would recommend checking out. This film is from 1983. It's rated R. This is a Region 1 DVD in ye old snapper case, as some of you know. There's a picture on the inside of Peter Weller getting on some gear to go hunting for some rats, or I should say a rat. The DVD artwork is pretty plain, nothing fancy there. Different than the cover though. The cover art is actually kind of cool. I don't know if it says on here who did the cover art, but I do like it. No, it doesn't say. I did notice on the front now it says the terrifying last word in Home Invasion from the director of Tombstone and Cobra. So apparently old Georgie boy did Tombstone as well. I didn't know that. Special features on here are a full-length audio commentary by Peter Weller and George P. Cosmatos. I listened to about a half an hour of the commentary, and Peter Weller and George Cosmatos are not doing it together. They're doing it separately. So they kind of like splice together the two commentaries, so it's kind of weird sounding. I wasn't totally into it, but it was good. The quote on the back is a visual tour de force, fast, taut, and darkly comic from Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times. I did neglect to say there is some dark humor in it. Obviously, it's a man fighting a rat in his brownstone while his wife and child are away on holidays. So it does have a bit of a dark humor to it, which is cool, I guess. Again, 3.75 out of 5. I would recommend this movie again if you like Peter Weller, if you like 80s kind of like horror thriller films. 1983, pretty good time for a film. And if you can find this out in the wild, I would go ahead and grab it. It's a fun little film. Get its own little thing going on. You can rent this for $4.99 on Apple TV, and that appears to be the only place that you can watch it, unfortunately. And so this goes back to me telling you guys, if you love films, go thrifting, or buy them on eBay or whatever. because these things are hard to watch now. They're hard to find, and they're getting more hard to find in even thrifting. So, and clearly the streaming people don't care. So, if you want to watch this, you'll have to go over to Apple TV and rent it. I don't know if I'd go that far. I would say if you can find a used copy of it, do it that way. Although I guess I paid like $4 and tax, so it's not much different than renting it. But at least I own it in my collection, and I can rewatch it maybe in a couple of years when I'm feeling the urge to see some more Peter Weller. So anyway, Of Unknown Origin, a great little thriller, great little horror thriller. It's Canadian, so there's that too. So if you're a Canadian viewer of my channel, you might want to watch it for that. That kind of Canadian tie-in. That's kind of cool too. Anyway, thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. I will be back on Friday with a double review, and that is going to be Orphan and Orphan First Kill. So that's on Fright Fridays this Friday. And I will also have a thrifting haul video coming probably on Saturday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Follow me over on Instagram, Night Owl Video. Consider subscribing if you like movie reviews, thrifting hauls, and things along those lines. Thanks for watching again, and until next time, I will see you at the video store or at the thrift store, or, you know, just out and about. It's been a while since I did one of these. I'm sort of out of my groove, but anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.